One of the things we're going to do in our student-teacher relationship is I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, and then I'm going to question your answer. And I'm not trying to insult your point of view. I'm not interested in debating. I'm just curious at what point we know what we know and why we know it and what that means. So I think that can be a fairly civil thing. Online, that seems to fall apart, and people often, I think, speak in ways that they wouldn't in person. And I think that's one thing we can do here in Bosque Village is speak to each other more honestly. It's maybe best not to speak at all sometimes. Clearly I'm not succeeding at that. I don't know. Personal conversation, radical honesty. Unless you're trained in that, it's not necessarily a good thing. Open communication, this seems good. Knowing yourself seems difficult enough sometimes. I don't care for it much when people couch all that stuff in spiritual terms. And when I ask them about it, then they'll try and couch it in regular terms for me. I still don't like it. I just like to use the original terms. Consciousness means something fairly straightforward. There's no special energy radiating out of crystals that's very important to us medically. If you look up pseudoscience and you find yourself believing in things on that list of pseudosciences, then you're confused, probably. If not, feel free to write up why you're not confused, but don't bring your confusion here. I've had several offers of people to come here who will offer pseudoscientific services, medical, spiritual, otherwise, energy stuff. And, you know, I've accepted a couple of them at times, but in general, it's just not really my demographic I want to see here. Because spirituality is a tool that people use to claim an awareness to something, or communication with something, or realization of some kind, or being enlightened, or whatever it is. Even ritual. We'll get into ritual too. But they're claiming a connection, and they're going to enforce that on you. And they're not going to maybe use a gun to do it, hopefully. But they'll emotionally put that on you, that you have to think that their view based on bullshit is valid. And those people are rude. Those are spiritual people. Now, we have had a lot of spiritual people through who follow a spiritual path, and that's been just fine. But that's okay. They don't have to lose that. What they need to do is not like proselytize. You know what that means? That means like tell other people what to do all the time for some magic reason, or think you're super special because your connection to this unknown stuff that nobody else can see. That's just not okay. Now, there could be times where we make a thing and people talk about their spirituality. That's fine. But if that's your main deal, don't come here. We already covered politics and other stuff, and